Beautiful. Welcome to the Incredible Conversations podcast with me, your host, Isabelle Wellman. Today, we are talking about the Gemini full moon that's happening on Wednesday, December 7th at 8:08 p.m. PST. What is a full moon? A full moon is when the sun and moon are opposite of each other in the sky. Hence the fullness of the moon. It's illuminating, the sun is illuminating on the moon, the opposite of a new moon. And the theme for this new moon, or full moon, excuse me, is being able to think big while being grounded in the tiny details and tasks. So, with this moon, we have the sun in Sagittarius, which is the seeker. It's expansive. It is calling in jovial experiences. It is having that bigger observant POV, point of view. It is being able to detach and look to the greater scope of things than being tunnel visioned in. And on the opposite side, we have the moon in Gemini. So, Gemini being quick, surface level, wants to basically network, meet as many people as possible, maybe ask you one or two questions, and then just disappear because they're already on to the next exciting thing, person, situation. And Gemini is less of a feeling sign or energy. It is very much, it's air sign, so it thinks. And what I think about when I hear Sag and Gemini together, it is a dust storm or a tornado because that fire energy of Sagittarius is so big and so bold and so outspoken, and it's going to come through the yard. It's going to tear everything up, and it's going to make you question so many things in a little amount of time. And that Gemini energy is really going to reinforce, hey, hi, how are you? Did you believe in this? Oh, too bad. I'm going to ruffle your feathers just because I can. And oh, you have emotions? I don't have emotions, but sometimes I do, but I don't really know how to feel them. So let's just talk about it, but not in a way that makes any sense. And it's this very fast and kind of crazy energy, but it's also the student and the teacher. So the teacher being Sagittarian energy, the student being Gemini, because the Gemini is learning how to formulate deeper, bigger, evolutionized inventions, thought processes, and engineering their life to see more than what's right in front of them, especially when it comes to people, seeing inside of people. I also want to note that for this particular energetic, the moon is right next to Mars in the sky. So the moon is the emotional body, and Mars is our masculine energy. Everyone has masculine and feminine energy, and some people it's balance, and some people they feel more feminine or they feel more masculine. There's no right or wrong. That's just yin and yang, how it is. And the moon, being the emotional body, ruled by Cancer, or ruling Cancer, excuse me, it really asks us to slow down because this is mutable energy with Gemini and Sagittarius. And what mutable energy means is that the energy is like a wave, it comes and it goes. It can transform. If it's water, it can go into a cup and look like a cup. It can go into a bowl and then take the shape of a bowl. It can go inside of a flute, like a very skinny glass, and turn into that. So in essence, it's the shapeshifter. It can morph, it transmutes, it is very versatile, it is multifaceted and multi-talented. And so with this energy, we bring our awareness to being careful of being too flexible, no boundaries, being careful that we're not scattered, because when we are in scattered energy, We can feel very alone, very perhaps worried inside. Maybe we feel like we aren't sure what we're doing in this lifetime or where we're going on our path. And that could be farther from the case, especially because Sagittarius is an ethereal sign. I mean, astrology is ethereal, but Sagittarian energy and Sagittarius people have this divine guidance. I mean, this sign is connected to source, spirit, God, whatever you want to say and use in place of that word. And so downloads can come in, maybe feeling like you want to expand your awareness in general, but especially around culture, being able to get the taste of different places, peoples, and things to expand your mind and open yourself up to new realities. It's really getting a new taste for life. And what I want to hone in with this mix is how that moon being in Gemini wants to just skim the surface and not dive in and taste those yummy tastes from all over the world. It doesn't care to seek too far. It doesn't necessarily have the desire to find new strategies or new ways to connect with the divine or connect with source, to witness our emotional body, which is all about the Sagittarian energy. So it's having the balance of, can I not get lost in the sauce of the extraterrestrial world? Thank you, my friend Carly, for that beautiful line. It has stuck with me since I've lived in Alaska. And reality, the 3D, the seen world. So the unseen versus the seen. And Mars is really wanting that emotional energy to just be fast, to be skimmed by. It has a lot to do with masculinity, and masculine energy is action orientated. It's less focused on sitting and feeling and being and nourishing and expressing. That's the feminine energy. That's the flow of life. That's where it gets deep. Masculine is, I'm told what to do and I do it. The feminine often is told something to do, but then they ask why. What's the point? Where am I going with this? And that's a realist scientific deal with the brain, left side, right side hemispheres, and woman's brain or female brain versus male brain. We just work a little bit differently cognitively. And that's perfect because we're all meant to be a little bit different and to support each other in that way. So, overall, with Sagittarius Sun and that moon with Mars in Gemini, it's learning to have a basically, if you can have this bullet point list, when you go into awareness, you're going into that unseen world and it's saying, hey, I'm reacting to this situation in this way. Why? Why am I reacting like this? Where is that reaction coming from? Do I have an experience from my past that I might have stuck somewhere deep inside a pocket of my body that is really craving to expand, explore, to level up, to get out, so that I don't feel that anymore? So I don't have the turbulence of that memory, that emotion, that experience. And the medicine, because we do have a configuration in the chart. If you're watching the YouTube version of the podcast, then I have the chart up for us. We have this big T square, which is basically 3 points in the sky, all 180 degrees apart. And it's really iconic that it goes so well with the Sagittarius energy, but it's a triangle, and you pull that triangle back. It's a mutable T square, like I said earlier, versatile, multifaceted energy. It's connecting with Neptune. So Sun, Neptune, Moon, and Mars. You pull it back, and it's going into Virgo. So, Virgo energy. Virgo is the nitpicker. She is perfection. She's the green goddess. She's got that magical thumb. I'll make anything grow. It is organization, it's groundedness, it is strategy, it is having everything set up perfectly so that you can expand, explore, and develop yourself so that you just constantly get better and better. And it's giving yourself grace. And it's knowing that you are developing and you are growing and that there will be hiccups on the way. But it's really having that sense of, hey, we're not scattered. Hey, we have a motion to the ocean and we're not just going to go willy nilly into the night, even as a mutable sign. So that's the medicine, is being able to not be so lofty and to have some direction in where we're going. And that's that whole energetic that we're playing with. I also honestly think that we've been going through a lot of crazy turbulent energy for the past 5 months. We just had two planets go from indirect to or retrograde to direct, which are Neptune and Jupiter, both being um, Sagittarian and Pisces rulers of the sky. And so this planet, Jupiter, of abundance, the similar energies of Sagittarius, being able to give gifts, growing mindset, just plump, bigger, better than ever. It just keeps bringing in more. It can be addictive in a low road, it can be genuine and hospital in the high road. And that's going into Aries. We've been stuck in this Pisces energy, which is mutable, and it's confusion, it's fogginess, it's maybe you've been putting effort into whatever you've been efforting towards, and perhaps you haven't been seeing the results that you've really wanted to see. Maybe it's all felt like it's coming in way too fast, but you really have felt like you've slowed down, but no matter how much you slow down, it doesn't make sense. And that energy ended a couple last week, I believe. I am going to pull up my little Sagittarius calendar that I make every year. Hopefully, it pops up for us so that I can read it for us. I'm going to have to exit out of my thing. Stop share. Okay. So that happened. Y'all, I can't tell you because it won't pop up. No sweat, no sweat. We'll go back to it. Anyways, it happened last week, and now we should be feeling clearer and more on task, needless to say, especially with Neptune going forward or direct. So, what are some practices that we could use during this time? Well, my theme for December is mindfulness, mindful movement, because it is that fiery energy of Sagittarius that will be going into Capricorn, which is earth energy, yet it's the goat, the greatest of all time. It's going to achieve no matter what. So it's still this kinetic energy that will be happening. And when we can use mindfulness with movement, we are not just thinking of physical movement, hence why I started a 25 days of mindful movement series on YouTube and in a newsletter where you're getting a mindfulness prompt to bring you back into your body for 10 minutes for while you're journaling to really hone in, calm the mind. Because seriously, ask yourself, when was the last time you did nothing? When was the last time you were just being, just existing? You weren't texting, you weren't talking, you weren't thinking, you weren't chewing food, you weren't listening to a podcast, you weren't working on work, you weren't driving, you're just sitting with yourself, staring at the wall, at the back of your eyelids. When was the last time? Can you even think of that time? We live in a hustle culture. Do, 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 do. And right now, we're going to feel really pushed to go in that direction of do, 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 because we have the energy. This is fire and air. It's going to feel like we just want to go and go and go. But if we could strategize, allot time to slow the F down, to allow ourselves to ruminate in what is in our body and just being, existing, resting, not mentally straining, emotionally straining, soulfully straining, getting in the recovery. Because you can sleep a full 8 or 9 hours and still wake up feeling like a pile of dog poop. That has been happening to me the last couple of days because I've been pushing that side of myself to create, to do, because of all this energy, all this fire is activating inside of my chart. We're in a period of wisdom being given to us. And it's basically inviting us to adapt. Can we adapt to these situations as they arise and not burn out by setting up recovery time? Luckily, when we do go a little bit deeper under the surface, we give ourselves time to research thoroughly, to say, hey, my mind has all these ideas. Let me write them down. Let me allocate time to devote to myself, to my dreams, to what I wish to achieve. We're going to have some basically really effortless time doing so. We have this really easy energy between our emotional body and how we take action, how we use our emotions to feel and to guide us towards partaking and unfolding what we want to do in this lifetime for this purpose, on this path of what we're discovering constantly, what we're bringing into the world constantly, who we're meeting, the ideas we're creating, what we're inventing. A really beautiful note that I wrote earlier this morning is expectations are beliefs. So if you have an expectation that an event is going to go X, Y, and Z, or talking to this person is going to make you feel like this, or maybe how you think you're going to feel for the day, i.e., I have an earache and it's going to hurt all day long, or I have a toothache, let me keep touching it, let me keep coming back to it. An expectation is a belief, and a belief is a thought. And thoughts are created every minute of every day when we are not in a mindfulness practice where we just stay with our present now, not getting lost in the ongoing rolling of emotion and thought or worrisomeness that can draw us away and have us gone just out of our bodies into this emotional tornado, that dust storm that isn't going to bring us anywhere. It's just going to throw us around the air and make us feel really afraid and scared for a little while. So if your beliefs are just thoughts and you have a million thoughts a day, well, your thoughts can replicate your feelings. And if your thoughts are an indication of how you're feeling, then your feelings are telling you through your thoughts that there is a physiological eruption happening in the body. And this physiological eruption in the body, well, that is literally a hormonal chemical suppression, release, dopamine hit. I mean, it's endless, but that is truly that cycle. That when we have an expectation, it's a belief in our mind. I have an earache, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt all day. And then the next day you wake up, oh, I got an earache, it's gonna hurt all day. How long does that earache stay with you? Because every day you tell yourself, ooh, this hurts, ooh, this hurts, ooh, this hurts. It's just gonna keep happening. It's gonna last all day. I'm gonna wake up with this. And then that belief is your thought, and your thought is how you're feeling. So you are feeling that pain even deeper, and you're just revisiting it over and over again without expressing it or getting into a deeper, hey, why does this hurt? Like, what kind of pain does it feel like? Where else can I feel this in my body? Do I have any memories coming up? Can I be honest with myself and just see if anything, any moment in my life from my past comes up? Can I witness that? Could it be completely random, off topic, have no correlation with my ear pain, but can I go there? Can I witness myself in that? Because if you can witness yourself in that emotion, then you are acknowledging your body and honoring what you're feeling. And you're not deviating or creating a dichotomy inside of yourself. You're coming into oneness with your embodied feelings, your physiology, what's going on inside you, and the mental body, the brain gut connection. That's a very real thing. That's why our what we eat plays a huge role on what we think, what we believe, how we feel in our minds. So if you could go to the eruption in your body because of that feeling, and you could begin to understand that where we are repetitively going every day in our minds is affecting the science of our bodies on that hormonal chemical level, maybe, just maybe, we would grace ourselves with the gift of slowing down, going deeper, allowing ourselves to give ourselves that break in time. Because what's the rush? Right now, it's really a time of great alignment, of understanding that we can take inventory of where we are in our life and ask, is this really what I want? Is this really where I'm going, where I want to go? Is this who I am anymore? Because if you think about Gemini, Gemini is the twins, and the twins are your internal world and your external world because they can be two different things based on how you grew up or what you believe in. And if you're afraid to share your honest truth and you're not sure how to admit, hey, I don't want to be this family, whatever, I want to be this very different, outspoken, not in alignment with these other people's beliefs or truths, well, that can make us feel not so great. And then that whole storyline of what I just went through will play out. And so I want to invoke some questions within you with these journaling prompts that I have written in this calendar that I make for every season. This one's for the Sagittarius season. And the first question is, who am I becoming in this next stage of life? Who am I becoming in this next stage of life? So these were the journaling prompts for the new moon in Sag. But seriously, before Wednesday, can you ask yourself, who am I becoming for this next year? For who I am now, not based off of who you were at the beginning of 2022, who you were a month ago, what was going on in your life with X, Y, and Z person or job or wealth story. Can you start today with a whole new perspective going forward? Can you see your partner in a different light? Can you see yourself in a different light? Can you just acknowledge that we may not be able to change our experiences and what happens to us, but we can absolutely make decisions on how we experience those situations, those thoughts, those ideas, those judgments as they come up. And that's that whole mindfulness practice. Question number 2, what would it be like to find unwavering faith in something larger than myself? What would it be like? What if I surrendered and I just fully trusted that what I wanted was going to work out for me? What if? And this is where we take the energy of this T square I was talking about, where it's meeting in Pisces with Neptune, and we pull it into Virgo. Okay, so if I can dream who I'm becoming, where I'm going, let's make a plan for that to actually happen. And last season, because I have a membership called the Cosmic Community, I changed the name of it. So it was the Conscious Alignment Method, but now it's the Cosmic Community. It's way heavier in astrology than I was allowing it to be. Feels amazing. We talked about in Scorpio season a 12-week plan. And so now with I give all of these members a one-on-one, and we're going through those 12-week plans. We're going in and we're exploring, all right, for these next 12 weeks, what am I gonna do to make these goals that I've just listed and then brain dumped all of the tasks that I think belong to that goal or to achieving that goal, making it happen, having success? Can I schedule them in my day? Can I start making them appear in my life so that I can actually get to that part? Because we cannot just dream. I love manifestation. I love all of the woo woo things. And I really don't like the word woo woo because it's just despicable in the name of the divine and the unseen world that is so real and so amazing when you trust it because it just is so supportive and it goes beyond everything that we are told growing up, really eliminates that childhood issueness because it allows you to go into the grief. Anyways, when we can do that, we have a plan. And so now this energy is really reinforcing it. Hey, put that plan that you made, and if you haven't made it, highly suggest 12 weeks. Go and do it. See what happens if you're consistent for the end of this year, beginning of the next. What is the worst that would possibly happen to you? Maybe you find out you don't want to do that thing. Maybe you find out that you're really good at one thing but not another. Maybe you find out what's working for you and what's not. Holy moly, you just uncanned a can of worms for the best reasons, for the benefit of your life. Question 3: what nature being do I find myself relating to and admiring the most? What do they teach me? So this has to do with nature, everything outside, the trees, the bushes, wood, rocks, buildings, anything that is outside, that is natural, the animals. What do you find yourself constantly admiring? Are you a sunset admirer? Like nothing else beats a sunset. Or do you go in the forest? Do you frolic and gather mushrooms and you forage and you're really invested in the intricate detail of looking at this being, this mushroom, this living source of knowledge, and just being fascinated and curious and playful and childlike with it? Where and who and what makes you feel that way? For me, it's trees, and it's the depth of their roots going into the earth, connecting with all these other root systems, gaining the knowledge of everything that's decomposed and coming back up, and then giving this energy that comes and goes with the seasons of the leaves blooming, the flowers blooming, and then falling off and dying, and doing that over and over again because that is what we do as a human being in this life. We go through our death cycles and our rebirth cycles. We are the beautiful tree who is so mighty and glorious and bushy and green. And then the fall comes, and whatever happens to us, and we shed, we break, we shatter, we decompose all of the nonsense. And we ask, well, like, what can I decompose? What can I let die so that I may continue to grow? And this allows us for constant movement, for forward momentum. So just take a gander. What nature being sticks out for you? And lastly, who would I become if I found the inevitable waves of change in my life a blessing? What in myself would change? Hmm. Who would I become if I found the inevitable waves of change in my life a blessing? Instead of feeling bogged down or soggy or like I couldn't keep up? What if I could declare what I needed to those around me? And if they aren't listening or supportive, could I bear the ability to let them go because I know I am strong enough and that I will be taken care of, no matter what path I'm going in and towards, no matter how difficult it might be, at the expense of whoever, because inevitably you're doing it for yourself, and that will allow you to come back into alignment with the path that you ultimately want to be on and go towards without feeling like your soul is being crushed under a rock. Pretty deep stuff. Pretty deep stuff. So, what I want to say to finish out this podcast, this conversation, is what I wrote down for the calendar because I got it to come up for December 7th. And then what is coming forward energy wise. So, the full moon in Gemini, bringing it all together. You might be feeling a push and pull during this full moon in Gemini, considering the moon is acting as one with Mars and the sun is being challenged by Neptune. The moon in Gemini is a quick, emotionally charged communication and thinking process with a little extra spice to heat it all up. Insert a bird's eye view anytime you feel yourself becoming emotionally charged. Take 5 seconds. The lesson is in the silence, and it is to witness where your individual trauma is poked and how you can thus turn it into a vulnerable moment if appropriate for you, if being supported equally. On the other hand, focus on how you can encapsulate the identity you've been working on over the last 2 weeks and 5 months. What values mean the most to you at this time and will assist you to evolve into your one self, where you are not divided between who you really are and who the world wants you to be. Your wisdom is ecstasy. Don't forget to drink from your own intelligent and ethereal fountain. And that is that full moon in Gemini. It is deep. It is asking us to be emotional, baby. What is better than that? Let's get real. Let's get real. And then on December 9th, we have Venus entering Capricorn. And here's that little blurb for this. Ever wonder why you get the itch to create big goals prior to the new year? Why you feel like a goat that nobody can keep up with? Perhaps a little more pretentious or classy when it comes to living more lavish and luxurious than usual? You want that bougie dark chocolate, if you know what I'm saying. You can thank Venus sliding into Capricorn. Capricorn, coming December 21st, is all about success, lavish living, quality over quantity, individuality, wealth, and performance. Venus is how we love, what we value, comfort, textures, and feeling true embodiment of that goddess energy. I invite you to organize your life and prepare for the new year ahead by taking inventory of what makes you feel lavish and luxurious in your own life. What financial goals do you have, and where do you want to go? What does success mean for you? Nothing says sexy like your finances in order, goals on lock, and a simple plan to carry it all out until you reach success. And then we'll come into the last quarter moon, which basically is, let me back up. The first quarter moon, the new moon is when we set our intentions. The first quarter moon is that go. You can start going and acting on these intentions that you've set because there's a waiting period. The full moon is, hey, we're celebrating. How far did we get? What did we learn? Wow, what can we release? What's not going to serve us? And what are we going to take that is going to serve us? And then the last quarter moon is like, all right, let's wrap it up. Because after the full moon, you can still tweak and make changes and interact and network and reach out and place the seeds, plant them, get them to grow, harvest. And the last quarter moon is like, all right, you're coming to the finish line. Buckle down. Let's simmer down. Let's rest. Let's rest just a little bit. And so that's the last quarter moon energy. basically where we just tie it all up before the next new moon cycle. And then December 20th, as I was talking about how Jupiter is going to be moving into Aries, which is going to be really exciting, and you're really going to feel the press of energy in this. This is what I wrote for it. I'm praying you sat with yourself in silence at least once or twice to visualize what it is you wanted to see unfold for yourself in the future, because welcoming new energy of Aries is in the here and now. Whatever it is that you visualize, you may suddenly feel charged and ready to go in terms of making the magic happen. Jupiter in Pisces allowed you to connect with your intuition and guides with ease to better understand what it is that lights you up and creates heaven on earth. Jupiter in Aries is when you can now take the ethereal and begin transforming it into physical. If Jupiter is expansion, evolution, abundance, satisfaction, and Aries is quick, aggressive, direct, fast, masculine, individual, you're bound to find a way to expand who you are, turn your thoughts into tangible things, and push past fear. I'm going to take one more glance at the chart to see if there's anything else that I want to say about this. I I want to emphasize tuning in with your ability to trust yourself, your intuition, your experiences, and how you feel and felt during them, and really allowing yourself to see the path forward without judging it, becoming fearful of it, and just asking what would change in my life if I said yes to that way that is new, uncomfortable, different, unknown, but really strikes the chord inside of me, really gets me eager and excited to go forward because it's so different, because it is new, because new doesn't have to be bad. New doesn't have to be scary. It's recycling. We recycle what isn't working, what we're forcing, what we're pushing, where we're coming into resistance with. And man, that's fine. No one's stuck around. Thanks, girl. And it's coming with ease, allowing ourselves to go slow, to be nourished by the waters of the world, the shower, tears, and releasing. So that is this live podcast. Very exciting to do this. I am going to end the IG Live. So thank you everyone who tuned in to the IG Live. I'm pretty sure it sounded like dog shit because at the end I had a homegirl saying, "Hey, sounds like you're underwater, baby." All right, that's fine. But just for the podcast, I do want to pull a card. And we're going to do that now. So I'm pulling from an Archangel Oracle deck. I love tuning in with the Archangels. So what are we looking for as the medicine as we move into this full moon energy? What can be our medicine for this Gemini full moon energy? Huh. Crystal clear intentions. Archangel Michael. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. So let me read the full description. Here it is. So, After praying for guidance, be bold enough to admit what you truly desire. Know that you, along with everyone else, deserve the best of everything in all ways. Prosperity and abundance are God's wishes for everyone. You stake your claim on your share of the inherent by forming a clear mental picture of your desires. Allow yourself to imagine that this desire has already manifested and experience the emotional and physical feelings of your manifested desire. Don't worry how the desire will manifest. The infinite creativity of the Creator, God, Source, Spirit, whatever you like to say, will bring it to you in very clever ways, ways that you will not even expect. Simply follow any inner guidance to take steps towards co creating this divine desire and allow yourself to receive good as it comes your way. I do want to go a little bit deeper into that. So, you sit, you visualize, and you see exactly what you want. Tune in and tone up, attune to how you feel thinking about it: satisfied, pleasure, appreciation, gratitude, happiness, ecstasy, whatever you want to say, but really allow yourself to get in that bodily sensation and embody, bring those emotions down into your body, feel it over your heart or your tummy or your legs, and let it sink in deep. And then let it go. Don't worry about it. Just allow it to come to your mind and get excited. Go back to that internal bodily feeling, that chemical reaction. Allow it to make you feel good and then let it go and play. Be curious and listen to what makes you feel excited and do that, because it's going to bring you closer to where you want to go, to that desire. Because if you are feeling, if you visualize that desire in your body and you are taking inventory of how it's making you feel on a chemical level, and then you expect the answer to come from a very opposite feeling, you crazy. What? No, no, stop. Stop that. It will come from doing things that make you feel that way. Interesting, huh? So, working with Archangel Michael, for anyone who feels called to do this, Michael's aura is royal blue mixed with tinges of royal purple. When he's nearby, you may see cobalt blue sparks of light. The crystal stone sugilite is aligned with Archangel Michael's energy. If you wear a sugilite pendant, you may find yourself channeling profound and loving messages from Michael when you speak. I slaughtered the crystal name, but that's okay. I hope that for this full moon in Gemini, you are able to meet yourself. It's less about other people, it's less about relationships that are outside of yourself, it's less about listening to the external world. And this full moon is really coming into who you're developing yourself to be and the actions that are going to support you along that way. Yep. It's being playfully rigid. And that is how I will leave you. So thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. I hope you have a beautiful full moon. And if you're interested in the cosmic community, you can go to isabellewellman.com and check out the details there. And every month I open up for new people to come in. So you let me know, baby. And I will see you on the next podcast. Have a great day.